This evening, first up, human trafficking charges. A 49-year-old businessman from Diamond is remanded to prison accused of exploiting a Cuban national. We'll tell you what investigators uncovered. First, road to transformation. The Linden Lethem upgrade shifts into high gear with new phases and a massive Kurupukari bridge on the way. How the project could change lives from the coast to the hinterland. Also missing millions. A $5 million financial breach rocked GECOM's accounts department just weeks after the elections. Police and auditors are now probing staff as questions mount over accountability. Meanwhile, destination Guyana. Tourism leaders rolled out bold plans to attract 1 million visitors and 3 million transit passengers by 2030. What's in store for travelers and how locals will benefit? And global unrest. Over 200 people are arrested in the Philippines after anti-corruption protests spiral into violence. The government responds with tight security. Those stories and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for September 23rd, 2025. I'm Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, a 49-year-old businessman from Diamond Housing Scheme and Alberton, Georgetown, was today remanded to prison after being charged with trafficking in persons. Alvin Parag is accused of committing the offense against a 31-year-old Cuban national at Diamond, East Bank, Demerara. He appeared at the Diamond Magistrate's Court before Senior Magistrate Judy Lachman, charged with trafficking in person, and pleading not guilty. He was denied bail despite the prosecution's objection. Parag was arrested on September 19th, accused of committing the offense against the 31-year-old Cuban national between March 29th and June 7th of 2025 at Diamond East Bank, Demerara. Parag was remanded and the case has been adjourned to October 6, 2025 for statements and disclosure. The investigation is ongoing as law enforcement works closely with stakeholders to address and prevent all forms of human trafficking in Guyana. In other news, authorities are probing a $5 million financial breach at GECOM, with staff under investigation and one clerk detained. Dale Jarvis has more on the unfolding scandal.
Authorities are investigating a major financial breach of the Guyana Elections Commission after $5 million reportedly vanished from its accounts department, prompting both a police probe and an internal inquiry just weeks after the country's general and regional elections. Crime Chief Deputy Commissioner Wendell Blanham confirmed that several GECOM employees are assisting investigators in connection with a report of simple larceny involving the Commission's funds. An assistant accounts clerk has been detained after detectives reportedly recovered a small portion of the stolen money in his possession. GECOM's public relations officer, Yolanda Ward, acknowledged the incident, stating only that an internal investigation is underway and that a statement will be issued once it is completed. The missing cash was discovered over the weekend, prompting immediate police involvement. The revelation has placed GECOM under public scrutiny just weeks after the September 1st general and regional elections. The Commission recently began paying hundreds of temporary workers hired for elections duties, but the payment process has been disrupted as the probe continues. CID ranks have already questioned several staff members at GECOM offices and CID headquarters as investigators work to determine how the money disappeared. Investigators are expected to continue questioning staff and reviewing financial records in the coming days, as both the police and GECOM's internal probes seek to uncover how the funds went missing and to hold those responsible accountable. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. The government is pushing ahead with major upgrades to the Linden Lethem Road, a transformative project aimed at improving connectivity between Guyana's coast and the Brazilian border. The ambitious undertaking will convert approximately 450 kilometers of dirt road into a modern all-weather highway, expected to bring far-reaching social and economic benefits. To ensure steady progress, the project has been divided into several phases. The first phase, from Linden to Mabura Hill, is already well advanced, while preparations are underway to tender for lots 2, 3, and 4. According to Minister of Public Works, Bishop One Edgehill, these upcoming phases will significantly accelerate the project's completion. A key feature of the plan is the construction of a 600-meter bridge across the Kurupukari River, along with a causeway designed to keep the road open to traffic around the clock. Minister Edgell noted that President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali will soon finalize the design from several proposals now under consideration, ensuring the project is both efficient and sustainable. When completed, the highway is expected to cut travel time between Linden and Lethem from more than 12 hours to roughly 4 hours, slashing transportation costs while improving access to healthcare, education, and essential services for communities in the hinterland. The upgraded road will also strengthen Guyana's trade and tourism link with Brazil, offering new opportunities for cross-border business. For residents of Linden and the surrounding areas, the project could be life-changing. With the improved road, they will gain access to market of some 20 million people in northern Brazil, creating new prospects for small businesses, job creation, and regional economic growth. Officials said the Linden-Lethem upgrade is one of the government's top priorities over the next 5 years. Stick around when we return. Minister within the Ministry of Housing, Vanessa Ben, unveils vision for greener, efficient, and high-quality housing. And Minister of Labour promises an active investigation following a fatal construction accident.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Step right up because it's time for Digicell's $12 million punch and win. Top up with just $1,000 or more for a shot at winning up to $2 million weekly. That's right, up to $2 million weekly. 6 weeks, $2 million per week. Will you be one of our lucky winners? There's only one way to find out. Top up, punch, and win. Only with Digicell. Digicell, better connected.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Newly appointed minister within the Ministry of Housing, Vanessa Ben, is charting an ambitious course to transform Guyana's housing sector, focusing on sustainability, construction quality, and improved service delivery. Speaking during a recent inspection along the Linden-Susdike Highway, Ben emphasized the need to expand the ministry's work beyond housing expansion to include environmentally friendly initiatives and efficient citizen services.
The Ministry of Housing has always talked about, how do we have a space to improve the lives of our people. And so my intent is that whilst we look at the work that they have been doing so well for over the years, how do we broaden that scope? How do we look at, the greening of spaces in which the houses are being constructed? How do we look at a more kind of comprehensive linkage with the forestry sector, for instance? How do we use the lesser used wood species in the construction? And Guyanese can have, we don't just think about Kabukali and Greenheart, but there's the Wamara, there are many other species that we can use that are beautiful, that kind of, showcase the exotic woods that we have. And we can have the use of those and provide more employment for people within the forestry sector, people within the joinery sector, and so on. So that's my interest. And also helping, joining with Minister's team to help ensure that the defects that, in some of the homes that may have been complained about are addressed. How do we build and build better?
Minister Ben highlighted the importance of efficiency in service delivery, stressing plans to digitize systems and reduce delays in land application approvals. She noted that success will rely on teamwork, supporting both staff and citizens to ensure smoother operations across the ministry. Although only days into her tenure, Ben said she is actively collaborating with departmental heads to improve internal process and accelerate land allocation, underscoring her commitment to building a sustainable, high-quality housing sector that is responsive to the needs of the Guyanese citizens. Moving on, a Cuban construction worker was killed after a wall collapsed at a supermarket site on the East Coast. Dale Jarvis has more as the Labor Minister pledges a full investigation.
Minister of Labor and Manpower Planning, Kiyomo Griffith, has pledged a thorough investigation after a 28-year-old Cuban construction worker, Derovis Martinez Mendoza, was killed when a 15-foot-high, 120-foot-long concrete wall collapsed at a supermarket construction site in Bachelor's Adventure, East Coast Demerara, on Monday. Speaking to the media, Minister Griffith confirmed that emergency crews, including the Guyana Fire Service, police and EMTs, responded quickly to clear the rubble and ensure that no other workers were trapped. He stressed that the safety and health of workers is a top priority and outlined plans for intensified inspections and public education on occupational health and safety protocols. Preliminary reports indicate that construction began around 3 months ago, and several residents had previously raised concerns about the wall's stability. Eyewitnesses noted that no designated safety officer was on site at the time of the collapse, and several Spanish-speaking workers were operating near the wall when it gave way. The property is owned by Carlos Paul and leased to a Chinese businessman who supervised construction but was absent during the incident. Minister Griffith confirmed that health and safety officers from his ministry are conducting an immediate investigation into adherence to safety protocols. Martinez's body was removed to Memorial Gardens Funeral Home for post-mortem examination, while authorities continue to gather details surrounding the tragic incident. The minister reiterated the government's commitment to preventing future workplace incidents through stricter oversight and enhanced education for both employers and workers. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Ghana aims to welcome 3 million transiting passengers and attract at least 1 million visitors by 2030. Tourism, Industry and Commerce Minister Susan Rodriguez announced on Monday during a session with hoteliers, tour guides, and tour operators at the Arthur Chung Conference Center. Minister Rodriguez outlined plans to strengthen travel to the country, including the creation of a year-round calendar of events featuring at least one major activity per quarter and expanded international marketing under the Destination Ghana initiative. She encouraged industry stakeholders to offer special rates and packages for diaspora visitors and introduce staycation packages to attract local tourists, particularly during the off-season. Additionally, Rodriguez proposed a $200 US daily spending benchmark for Guyanese travelers to guide inclusion in national marketing campaigns, though it will not be mandatory. She also revealed plans for information centers at key ports of entry to provide immediate access to details on events and experiences nationwide. The minister called for collaboration among stakeholders to advance tourism, pledging support in addressing challenges such as high domestic travel costs and limited access to attraction, with the goal of making Guyana a more appealing destination for both locals and international visitors. Don't go away after the break. Pro-Palestinian protests, strikes and port blockages held across Italy, and Jimmy Kimmel's show to return on Tuesday after Disney lifts suspension.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Step right up because it's time for Digicel's $12 million Punch and Win. Top up with just $1,000 or more for a shot at winning up to $2 million weekly. That's right, up to $2 million weekly. 6 weeks, $2 million per week. Will you be one of our lucky winners? There's only one way to find out. Top up, punch, and win. Only with Digicel. Digicel, better connected.
Good girl, forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smalls make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening, I am Nikita Ford. In tonight's Regional International News segment, Jamaican police arrest Haitian arriving by canoe as others remain on run. Disney bring back Jimmy Kimmel live. Pro-Palestinian protests with Italy and mass arrests follow anti-corruption rallies in the Philippines. We will begin in Jamaica. Jamaican police arrested 21 Haitians who arrived by canoe boat in Portland on Monday, while 19 others remain at large. Authorities say the incident highlights rising illegal boat arrival linked to Haiti's worsening crisis. Residents are urged not to shelter fugitives and to report sighting immediately. U.S. entertainment company Disney has announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live will return to air 6 days after it's been suspended the talk show host following threat by the FCC chairman over comment the hosts have made about conservative activist Charlie Kirk's alleged killer. Al Jazeera Mike Hanna reports.
Free speech is under attack. What do we do?
Reaction to Jimmy Kimmel's suspension reflected the deep political divisions within the society, being hailed by the majority of Republicans, including President Trump.
Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk.
And hammered as an infringement on freedom of speech by Democrats.
Censorship and what we're seeing from the federal government only serves to further divide us and make us less safe.
But a threat by the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, to suspend network licenses was the last straw for at least one Republican lawmaker.
And the FCC was wrong to weigh in, and I'll fight any attempt by the government to get involved with speech.
The Walt Disney Company says the Jimmy Kimmel Show will return to the ABC network this week, issuing a statement explaining that the show was suspended to avoid inflaming what it described as a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. Continuing, we have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after these conversations we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. The threat to one show now appears to be over, but those concerned about freedom of speech have been reminded how fragile the concept is in this America. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Italian cities saw widespread pro-Palestinian protests, including port blockade by dock workers, demanding sanctions against Israel. Al Jazeera Wilson Desire reports.
Taking a stand for Gaza. Thousands in Italy joined nationwide protests calling for the end of Israel's attacks on Palestinians.
Why am I here? Why must we be here? Because we are human beings, and that is what matters. Beyond party politics, we must remain human. How can anyone remain indifferent to what is happening?
The collective action delayed trains and blocked roads across the country to call attention to the genocide in Gaza. Some of the protesters blocked the port of Genoa, saying no weapons should sail from Italy to Israel.
It is necessary to block arms shipments, which in this particular case are being sent to Israel. But in general, this is a people that says no to war. So the arms blockade in this case is specific to Israel, but it should apply to every war.
Beyond ending the conflict, the protesters also demanded Italy join other European nations that have recognized a Palestinian state. While Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has condemned Israel's attacks on civilians, she has not gone as far as other European Union members in pushing for a two-state solution.
We call on all nations and all political forces to exert every possible pressure on Hamas to release the Israeli hostages still being held, and we call on Israel to cease its attacks, to end its military occupation of Gaza, to halt the expansion of settlements in the West Bank, to allow full access for humanitarian aid to Gaza, and to start with the proposals of the Arab countries to define a framework of stability and security.
These demonstrators hope the Italian government will hear their call and deliver more for Gaza than just words. Wilson Dysard, Al Jazeera.
Police in the Philippines have arrested more than 200 people in connection with anti-corruption protests on Sunday. Al Jazeera Bonnie Below reports.
Elsie Santos arrived at the Manila Police headquarters after midnight, after being told her son Reden had been arrested for taking part in violent protests. And while she says she believes he's been falsely accused, for now, Elsie just wants to see him.
I just want to make sure he's eating and that he's safe, but the police keep telling us they don't know anything and that they don't have names to show us.
Many other parents who've been waiting with Elsie also maintain their children couldn't have been involved. But authorities say they have evidence.
We only arrested people who were directly participating. You've all seen CCTV footage. You've probably also seen several videos online.
Tens of thousands of Filipinos came out on Sunday to rally against alleged corruption in flood control projects that amounts to billions of dollars. Most gatherings were peaceful. But at one, a group of masked protesters, some carrying flags with a pirate symbol similar to those seen in recent demonstrations in Indonesia and Nepal, threw rocks and crude homemade bombs towards police. They also broke into a hotel and damaged properties near the presidential palace. Protests escalated again on Monday, but this time against what activists say was police brutality.
Some of the people here were also at anti-corruption demonstrations on Sunday, where a number of people were injured in confrontations. They say they understand why some resorted to violence and are here to demand their release from police custody.
They also insist the police made wrongful arrests.
They also included activists who were simply preventing the confrontation between the young people and the police. They also arbitrarily arrested civilians who just happened to be in the streets.
But this is a country that prides itself on peaceful uprisings, which have twice ousted corrupt leaders, and the violence has been widely condemned. Many here say they're no less angry, and their voices no less powerful. Barnabelow, Al Jazeera, Manila.
Thanks, Nikita. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.